Hello and welcome to your Monday One Show live on BBC One and iPlayer with Lauren Laverne.
And Roman Kemp. We're rolling out the red carpet tonight because we're joined by not one but three Hollywood A-listers.
Yes, the first is a world-famous wrestler turned movie star who's been in pretty much everything from the family favourite Jumanji to the Netflix hit Red Notice. Tonight, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson reveals why he's now wrestling against evil in DC's latest superhero blockbuster.
Joining him is a Hollywood heartthrob who catapulted to stardom after playing the leading man in the rom-com trilogy To All the Boys. Later, Noah Centineo tells us how a stunt on the set of his new film landed him in hospital.
Yes, and our third guest
And the other heartthrob.
That's right. Yes, our third guest tonight starred alongside Ryan Reynolds in Deadpool 2 and bagged a Bafta for co-writing the comedy series Catastrophe. But tonight we see a very different side to Rob Delaney as he shares a story close to his heart.
Also coming up, with demand for allotments at a record high, we unearth a garden sharing scheme giving those without green space the opportunity to get their hands dirty.
Yeah, but first, let's say a huge welcome to Dwayne, Noah and Rob.
Wow, what a sofa.
Thank you for having us.
Very nice indeed. Dwayne, I want to start with you. Obviously, well, I don't know if you've seen in the UK, there's been quite the situation around politics. Lots of U-turns going on, but there is a U-turn that your fans were wondering about. Back into wrestling. Is there a potential there? Please say yes.
Well, you know, there's always potential because it's a business and a sport that I love. I grew up in pro wrestling, my grandfather, my dad, so I always say there's always a potential because in the wild, crazy world of pro wrestling, you just never know.
Yeah, so many twists and turns. Noah, do you think Dwayne should get back in the ring?
Well, I'm getting in the ring.
You are?
Oh, are you planning to?
This was the, I'm happy you asked.
Yeah.
And I intend...
He's going to have his first match.
...to suplex The Rock.
Oh!
And
it's
make
an
him the pebble.
exclusive.
Wow.
Have you got your wrestler name yet, Noah?
Yeah, what's your wrestling name?
A Tom Smasher.
Tom Smash.
So a kind of a sort of French version of perhaps the character from. Okay,
yes. If you will.
There you go. Rob, I would say what is your wrestler name, but I mean I'll let you do it based upon this picture.
What an image.
Well, yeah, you can see. Well, first of all, thank you for using my Instagram photos without permission. But second of all, second of all, I mean, as you can see, I don't even need the power of vision. I think I emit a pheromone that confuses everybody, they run away, and I get the medal.
Extraordinary scenes. Now, later we're going to be hearing all about Noah and Dwayne's brand new film, Black Adam, and Rob will be telling us about his moving memoir, A Heart That Works.
Yeah, and if
technology makes a difference, I think.
It's pretty good.
Now, with Dwayne, we've got so many questions coming in for all of you guys, but I have to start with this comment from Dave for you. Dwayne Johnson on the One Show seems like a fever dream. Who made it happen and how? And that's exactly what we need to talk about because we are very excited to talk about your new film.
Not only is it a dream, but it's a fever dream.
It's a fever dream.
That's a big deal.
It's just so exciting. So Black Adam, DC's latest blockbuster, and it follows the story of Teth Adam. He's a superhero, but he's not cut from the usual mould. He's unlike any other. Tell us a little bit about Teth. You play him.
I did. I had the honor of bringing Black Adam to life, and this has been, as Noah will tell you too as well, this has been a 15-year-long journey of fighting to get Black Adam made. So what an honor it was not only to get Black Adam made and to become Black Adam, but also to build out the DC universe that we love and that fans all around the world love, and introduce 5 new superheroes in one movie, and one of them, Adam Smasher, sitting right here to my left, and the rest of the JSA. So it's a really, really exciting time. And I have been saying this, and this is the truth. I've been really lucky and fortunate over the course of my career to have done some pretty good things. Black Adam is the most important film I have ever made. And certainly the biggest, but really the most important. 15 years of fighting, something you believe so deeply passionate about. So it's really gratifying to be here and getting ready to release it to the world.
That's incredible. And you've got a great cast as well. And Noah, I want to talk about your superhero, Atom Smasher. I mean, it's kind of in the name, isn't it? He's always smashing into things. I did hear there is a rumour going around that you were a little bit clumsy on set.
Yeah, that did happen.
Because of the mask.
Listen,
he's not a clumsy guy.
My peripheral vision is thrown. It was a hand-me-down. I'm trying to get it tailored.
Look at that.
There he is. Yeah, I was running, and I thought, we've done it 5 times. This will be the 6th. Why don't I try to make it funny? And I made it real funny. I pretended to hit something and spun around and dislocated my arm, and it was fine. They took 13 tries. They popped it back in. I got so excited, it went back in. I celebrated, and then it went out again. Once they got it back in.
Why not celebrate? And look,
God, it was the funniest thing you'd ever want to see on set, guys. I laughed so hard. He popped his shoulder out twice.
And then another time when I went home.
it does look like it was all worth it, though, because, I mean, let's take a look at what's in store.
My son sacrificed his life to save me. His powers are not a gift, but a curse. Born out of rage.
You have 2 paths. You can be the destroyer of this world, or you can be its savior.
Honestly, it is thrilling, and the costumes incredible. Dwayne, how did it feel the first time you got to put on the full kit, and did you get to keep it?
Well, I got to tell you, Lauren, it was a real, putting on that costume, it was a real moment. I had a real moment. Again, 15 years of something you believe in, pushing it, pushing it, pushing it. You finally get it made. Day one, I put it on in my trailer. I take a look in the mirror. I have a moment where it's like, this is it. This is it. I step outside. I go to set. I go to our director, Jalma Colette Sarah. We're talking. And he goes, how do you feel? I said, I feel just really grateful, man. Let's go make a great movie. Just like that, I look up and I see Noah and the rest of our cast, Aldous Hodge, Quintessa Swindell, Pierce Brosnan, all in their costumes, all walking towards me. And that was the moment. That's when I knew, like,
that's a fever dream.
That's a fever dream. Yeah. Here come the JSA. So it was really awesome. And I didn't get to keep it, though. I can, but...
Well, I mean, that's kind of, a lot of people have actually been asking, and we've had a question in from Mitchell. This is for you, Noah. Noah, did you get to keep, or did you steal anything from set?
I didn't get to keep anything. I did steal some fingers. I'm not going to tell you whose.
You got to give context.
Go watch the
show's live.
We might need more on that.
Okay, so one of the something happens, and there's a burnt body, and we did this, this scene involved in the part. It actually got cut out of it, and I
because you stole the fingers.
Where
They
is
couldn't
this
find them
guy's
for
fingers?
continuity, is what it was. But I have them, and they're at my house, and I cherish them.
Very good. Dwayne, I mean, you must have so many films over the years.
He's like, great, let's get off of this one.
Yeah, I mean, don't want to get taken off there. Family show. Family show, we're talking about fingers. Dwayne, so many films. What have you taken from your movies of years gone by? Do you have a favourite that you have at home?
A favorite thing that I do have at home is the very first movie I did. I starred in Scorpion King many moons ago. I have the sword from that movie.
Oh, wow.
No, I'm sorry. It was actually the sword from The Mummy Returns, which I had a cameo in.
Yeah.
And that was my very first ever movie. We were in the Sahara Desert. I had one line, Aku Machente. I'll never forget it. And I throw the sword, Aku Machente, and it's a really cool shot. And in that language, it means, I'm in the movie for 2 seconds. And then I have that sword. So.
How many times you told that joke, DJ?
Really? I know, too many.
I love that.
Now, Rob, you had a superhero adventure. You were in Deadpool 2. Sadly, no superpowers, no costume for you, as we can see here. Kind of dressed down. Did you get any superhero envy on set?
Not at all, because I was unique among the superheroes in that I had no superpowers, so I was a little bit special. So frankly, yeah, I think that's the way to do it. Plus, it takes way less time to get into makeup.
Well, that's true.
And way less time in makeup, but also the training regime that these guys had
I got to bypass all that.
Insane.
I mean, Noah, what was it like keeping up with Dwayne in the gym and,
That's very sweet of you. Keeping up. Very sweet. Thank you. Thank you.
mean...
There's not even a comparison.
Everyone worked super hard. They came on set. And again, this was an opportunity for all of us because there's no reference to any of these superheroes prior to us. No other actors have played them. So it's up to us, and you got to be accountable, man. And these guys work their butts off.
There's a responsibility for sure that,
Yes.
that we all felt. I know. Every single one of us. Aldous actually showed up months before we ever set action for the first time, and he was trained. He was up at 4 a.m. training by 5 for a few hours, doing stunt work, doing wire work, nonstop for months before we started shooting. So, Dwayne has this unique ability to instill his own passion in other people and to team build in such a way that allows his vision to be executed properly. And it's, I mean, one of the things that I hope that I've been able to pick up from you is your ability to team build.
Completely, man.
But we all took it very seriously.
Good man.
So.
Romance is so
Right?
nice.
Yeah,
Get
it's
that
not
bit?
that sofa. That's lovely.
It's all right, though.
There is something I've always wanted to ask personally about superhero movies. Now, if you were filming something like The Scorpion King, for instance, you'd be doing stunts that are all like, you're practicing your sword fighting and fist fighting, etc. In superhero films, do you actually, now tell me if I'm doing this right, are you practicing are you practicing going and just pushing away lightning bolts? How do you perfect the lightning bolt push?
Well, I deliver lightning bolts.
Yes.
Yes. So, but yeah, you have to go through the motion.
Is there any way you could show me a lightning bolt pose?
Are you sure?
Yes, please.
Are you ready?
This is
I would love to.
dangerous.
Lauren, should I do this?
Oh, please. Yes,
Rob?
please.
I'm nervous, but
Okay.
yeah.
Should I?
It's going to be painful, but yeah.
Thank you, guys. That's good.
So-
Round of applause.
A lightning bolt pose would be what?
You better be ready, bro.
Ready?
Yeah.
From here, like you're a gunslinger.
Okay. Oh, it's a lot more subtle than I think.
Let me see you do it.
Okay.
And you got to snap it a little bit more.
Just a little snap.
Oh,
Hey.
That's constipated.
That's where I was going wrong. That's where I was going wrong. I'm more used to that. Yeah.
The intention is the commitment.
We'll work on it.
You've got some good notes, though, Roman. You've got some
Perfect.
great notes.
I've
He'll
written that
be
down.
fine. He'll get it eventually.
Love it. Thank you.
Keep
And-
workshopping it.
Well, look, you can watch the brilliant Black Adam in cinemas from this Friday. I'm really going to...
You'll get it.
There you go,
You'll
you'll get it.
eventually. Still to come tonight, Rob, tell
Indeed. I mean, Rob, that's a pretty nice idea, that, I thought.
That was marvelous. I heard about, like, use an app, people come into my home, do things I thought might not be for me, but that's beautiful with those children and all that. I love it.
No, it's sweet. Now, Rob, we do want to talk about your new book, A Heart That Works. So it's a memoir, but it's not just your story that you're telling. It's also the story of your son, Henry, who passed away in 2018. Tell us a bit about him. How would you describe him when you think back?
Describe my Henry?
Yeah.
Well, he was a very sweet, mischievous, funny boy. He was the third. We had 3 boys in a row, 2 years in between them, sometimes not quite. And he sensed right away that he would have to be very magnetic and adorable and attractive, because our house was a zoo, And so he was very lovely, and we just all gravitated towards him, and he was magnificent. And then he had surgery once they found the brain tumor, and that disabled him quite seriously physically. But the tumor was near his brainstem, so his frontal lobe wasn't affected, so he was still very funny and mischievous and fun. So he was just a real pleasure to spend time with.
He was diagnosed when he was very little. He was 1 when he was diagnosed with cancer, right?
Yeah, symptoms showed up just before he turned 1, and then he was diagnosed just after he turned 1, and then he died a little bit before he would have turned 3.
Yes, and so this book that you've written, you've told your story, going through that experience with him, and then the kind of way of losing him, but also his memory. I mean, people talk about the idea of keeping a memory of someone alive, and sharing his story. Does it feel like you're doing that?
Oh, certainly. What's funny is I started the book thinking I want to write something very angry that will hurt people and will parcel out some of the pain that my family feels. Right. So I really was starting like, here comes this book for you scumbags who don't know what my family's been through. But the fact is our love for him and what a wonderful boy he was just took over. And so something happened, and the book is just really about love. Despite my best efforts to make it an angry tome, it's actually a lot of love.
That taps into the title. It's from that wonderful Juliana Hatfield song. A heart that hurts is a heart that works.
Yeah.
That's being alive, right?
Yeah, so that's a manifesto of mine now. A heart that hurts is a heart that works. Because if you're born on planet Earth, you're going to experience pain. There's no way around it. And, you know, our family got more of it than we might have anticipated earlier on, and it's been terrible and painful. You know, but there's been a lot of love weaved into it too.
You talk about you know, how best to support someone who's lost a loved one. I mean, what would you say is the biggest thing that you've been able to learn?
Well, I now know that if someone loses somebody close to them, I'm not going to be like, is there anything I can do? I'm just going to go over to their house, duplicate one of their keys when they're napping, and then come in and do their laundry, you know, force them to go out and take a walk while I watch one of their kids or whatever. It's really way more about actions than words.
That's right. And I mean, I know that having supportive friends meant a lot to you during that time. And actually, Dwayne reached out to you, I think, because you guys had worked together.
Well, we hadn't at this point, but yeah, he sent me a lovely tweet after Henry died, which he didn't have to do, you know, and that was very sweet and made me feel great. Yeah, and then a couple years later, I did Hobbs and Shaw.
Okay, so that was the time, but it's hard, isn't it? Because you know, Dwayne, to do that, people don't often know what to say, and actually they can be kind of intimidated into not saying something the moment passes because it's so difficult to put something into words.
You know, I have babies at home. I have all girls, 21 and 6 and 4, and you know, that story, hearing that, you know, rocked us in our household. So man, I just.
Well, Dwayne did a good template, you know. He said Henry's name. I remember that, and just said something sweet, and he just did it, you know, rather than should I, you know. And it made me feel nice.
That's the thing. Don't worry about getting it right. Just try and get it done.
It is so inspiring as well, because obviously, you know, in the book you talk about while Henry was ill, you were also working on the sitcom Catastrophe. I mean, how could you go from such a tragedy to be able to even write in comedy? So,
I mean, what I found was that grief and work are compatible. I agreed to do a 4th series of Catastrophe when we learned that Henry's cancer had returned and that he would die. I wasn't even sure I was going to do one, but I knew we would need to still be able to pay rent and buy cereal and shoes, so I was like, yeah, I'll do it at some point. And then when I started writing the 4th series, I didn't even care if it was good. I just wanted money. And then I started writing it, and I really began to enjoy myself very quickly, and I found that work and grief are compatible. So if I had to stop and go cry or puke, I did, but then I'd come back, and we'd start writing, and after a while start laughing, you know, so I don't not laugh anymore. I don't not have fun anymore. There's a new thing that my family feels that we did not have before, and it's hard and it hurts, but we still laugh, we still get angry, we still get silly, we still have all the other emotions.
Yeah.
Incredible. Thank you so much, Rob, for sharing that. And A Heart That Works is out this Thursday, and 100% of the profits from the book will be donated to children's hospices. I mean, that's so amazing, isn't it?
It is pretty amazing, isn't it? But then this guy's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Rob's also going to be visiting Edinburgh, Manchester and London for his book tour, and tickets for that are available now.
Yeah, we've actually had so many lovely comments as well from Dorothy saying Rob's story of his son is the most powerful, courageous and heart-rending story of grief, but so full of love, and it's absolutely beautiful.
Let me say quickly, it's not courageous. It's just what other bereaved parents did for me and my wife. So I was like, look, if I can write a book that'll reach somebody in a suburb of Yorkshire who can't get to a London bereaved parents meeting, then I got to do it. So it's just, here you go, use it. I hope it helps.
You've done it.
Rob, thank you so much. That is all we've got time for tonight. Thanks so much to Dwayne, Noah and Rob. We'll see you soon.
Thanks, guys.